Hello and welcome to my channel, Making Crafts. Today I'm going to create some fabric paperclip banners. And so I've gathered up some scrap fabric, some scrap lace, some bits and pieces of buttons and bows and all kinds of things so that we can create these banners today. So we'll also be using some jumbo paper clips, and this is just some older ones that I have. But any paper clips will do. It will just, if you have smaller ones, you'll have to make your little banners smaller. And then for the larger paper clips, you'll make them larger. So you could use any paper clips that you have, but I'm going to be using these little jumbo ones. They measure right under 2 inches, so about 1 7/8, something like that, close to that. So let's get started. I'm also going to be using some Fabri-Tac to glue all of my pieces together. You could use hot glue as well to glue these pieces on. And if some of these pieces are heavier, I may have to use some hot glue. We'll see as we go along. So I want to start out first with just using some of my scrap canvas to make the first banner. And I'm just going to trim it down to fit my paper clip. So let's see here. I don't want it too wide. I want it to fit along the bottom of my paper clip. So let's just, oops, I've got my paper clip stuck on here. Maybe about right here. And let's just rip it and see. Now if you are wanting your edges to be smooth and not frayed, then you're not going to want to tear yours like that. You could just cut them. So I wanted frayed edges, so that's what I'm doing. So you also have to decide which direction you want your paper clip to go. I think it could work though, if depending on which way you had it in your planner. I mean, not your planner, but your journal. I think that it could work either way, but I like to figure out, like if I'm going to slide it onto my paper here like this, then I'm going to hang my banner down here. But now if I had it on the other side, then I'm going to want my banner to be, whoops, like that. You know, it's going to be at the bottom here. So depending on the direction that you put this, and you could do both sides so that it doesn't matter. You could decorate both sides, but since I'm only going to decorate one side, I think ahead of which direction, and I know this may not be making sense at all, but as we go along, I think it will make more sense. Let's see here. I may just double this one up. The one I made the other day, I didn't double up. I just stopped right up here and glued it. But for this one, I'm going to double today and see how that looks. So there's our little banner. And I made one the other day for a journal that I was working on, but I've already sent that journal out, so I'm not able to show you that one. So we have our little banner here, and we'll add glue later once we decide. So what I like to do is just lay everything out before I start gluing and decide what's going to go on my little banner. So I've got these little plastic hearts that I'm going to add somewhere on it. And then I know that I want a piece of lace or something. I'm just going to go through my scraps here and see. This piece is rather large, so it may be just too big. We could tear it down the center if we wanted, or however we want to do it. So I'm going to trim that off right there, and then I'm just going to cut it down the center so that we can use it on here. And we may just add it on this side. We'll see. We're just going to play around until we get everything laid out like we like it. So I do want to put the little heart somewhere on it. Then we can put a little bow. You just kind of want to lay it all out before you start gluing. That way, if you change your mind, you can kind of move things around. So let's see, we could put the bow there and the heart there. And we could even turn the lace to go across the bottom. That may look better. Then we'll need something up here though. What about this piece here? Is this going to be too large if we kind of add it in somewhere? And I like to just keep adding little things until I get it exactly the way I like it. Kind of like that. I do have this little piece here. We can make several, so we'll be able to use some of these pieces somewhere along the way. So let's just trim this down just a little, just cut a little bit off. So we have just a little bit more texture in the background. And then maybe add the little lace here. We'll have to trim it off, of course. And then have our bow. And maybe our little heart up here. Just keep them very simple. And we can decorate them up as we go, add even more things to them. Just trying to get started. I like to just get started somewhere and then work my way to more decorated up. So some of them, the first one's maybe a little plain, but as I go, I will decorate them up more as I get more comfortable. It's been a few days since I've done any crafting at all, so I need to get a little warmed up here. So I like this here, so I'm just going to trim that off. And then I think I like how everything looks. This little pearl is coming off this bow, so I'm going to have to, just going to leave that off for now. There we go. And then we'll add this here. And I like that. So I'm just going to glue everything down. First I'm going to glue this banner together. And before we glue it, we could have this lace hanging out of the bottom here instead of going across the bottom of the banner. Let's see what that looks like. Nope, I want it on the bottom of the banner. So we'll just glue that shut. Oops. Then we're going to add a little bit of glue on the side here for that little piece that we've got. Cut off the little half circle here. And like I said, you can use Fabri-Tac or you could use hot glue. And I think there's other brands of glue that will hold fabric down. So you could use that as well. Whatever you have that holds fabric to fabric without sewing. We don't want to sew these, we just want to do some gluing today. Roxy, stop scratching. Roxy's with me in the craft room again today, and so she is decided she wants to scratch on my rug over there, so that's what that noise is in the background. So just add that there, and then we'll add a little heart. And I think these look so pretty on the journal pages. I do have a flip through of that journal, so by the time this video comes out, the flip through may be out. If not, I will try to come back and link it in this video so you can see the flip through of that journal, and you'll see the little banner I made for that one. Just add a little glue here. We'll just add the bow. I think the bow's just adding a little bit of color to it. And then the heart onto the flower, I like that. That's just one design. We'll lay that aside to dry and let's create another one. I feel like I'm getting warmed up now. So let's get another piece of canvas here. And gotta cut it down. I'm just trying to see what I'm gonna, I think I had cut this to be a banner one time to actually hang in my, where I used to make these as banners, like larger banners to hang at my mantle with wording on it. So that's what this is left over from. This is just leftover scraps. That's what today, go through your scrap bin of your fabrics, go through your, you know, just bits and pieces. Look around for buttons, for broken jewelry. If you go yard selling and you could buy broken jewelry for projects like this. There's all sorts of little things you could use on them. I do have my jar of buttons over here. I have buttons that I've just collected through the years, and then actually when you throw away clothes, you can cut the buttons off of those, especially men's shirts and stuff, and get you some little buttons off of those. So there's different ways you can collect these things to create something like this. So that's what I'm using, a lot of scraps. And then these are some things I've purchased on clearance, or I've purchased through kits and things that I've ordered online. So this one has all different color pieces on it. And then this has some colorful bows. We'll look through here and see what all I have. And I have some ribbon, well, I guess it's lace or ribbon here with some flowers on that. We might use that on this one. Let me see, I'm just looking around to see what all I have. I've got a bag of stuff laying beside me as well, because I wasn't really sure what all. I made that one a little small for this, but I think that's going to be okay. If we need to, we can add a little bit of lace or something down the side there to make it a little wider. We'll find something. What about this piece? That's pretty. Cut that off. Can add that there. And let me put my bag here. See what else I got. I'm trying to create them to match upcoming journals that I know that I have. Like, I know that I'm doing a pink journal, and I know that I'm doing a purple journal, so we could add some purple to it as well. That might be pretty. Let me cut one of those little flowers off. Let's see if I can use those. I might layer it up. It's 2 little size flowers on this ribbon or this lace, and so I might could layer them up. Kind of put them on there. And then I have these little bitty pearl-like pieces. Oh, I got some right here that I could put on top. These are just a lot of fun just to play with what, you know, your different bits and pieces and see what you can come up with. I don't really like this on the inside of that banner. So I think what I'll do is I'll just put it on the outside here. And then we can put this here. Just layer up several of those little flowers. And then we can have just a simple little banner here. Oops. And that might be all we add to this one. I don't know yet. It doesn't have to be a lot, or you can put a lot. It doesn't matter. I think that's cute. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think that's a cute, simple one. So let's just start gluing up. And I think that I'm going to bring the lace further over so it covers the whole front. So just adding glue down the middle. I think this is going to be pretty in a journal. Just going to add some glue here, just a thin layer, and just attach the lace. So I'm just going to add a little bit of glue to the center of that little flower, and then kind of put it over to the side, and then I'll add a little bit of glue to the center of it again on top of it, and then add the next one. As you can see, it cut the sides off, so that's okay. I'm just going to twist it around so that it doesn't, you've got little the little petals all the way around. So that looks good, I think. And then we'll just layer this one up too. And you do need to set these aside to dry for a little while before you put them in your journal, because you know all this glue coming through the lace and stuff may stick your pages together. So you do want to let it aside to dry, and then add it. If you already have your journal, add it to your journal once it's dry. My finger's getting stuck on that. If that doesn't stay, hold on, like a glue on that. I don't like that with glue on. I'm gonna, oops. We may have to use some hot glue for this. Let me pull out my hot glue gun. I think for this little thin flowers, we're going to use hot glue. Okay, so I think I have my glue gun all set up and ready to go. So I'm just going to put a little dot. And while I was waiting on my glue gun, these pieces that I glued together, they're pretty stuck together pretty good. So I'm just going to leave them. And then I'm just going to add the little flower there. And then I'm going to add this bead. And I went ahead and was going through some of my bags here and pulled out some things there that I want to add to some of these. So we might look and see if any of that stuff wants to go on this one as well. So put that little plastic pearl-like button there. And let's see, I found these little different colored hearts, but I don't think I want to use the blue ones on this today. But then here's a little flower that could be added. And we can decorate these up however you want. Let's see. Does this one need a bow? I don't know, since the flowers are so purple. I don't know if we need to add a purple bow or not. But it is fun just to decorate them up. That may be a bit too much. maybe, I'm looking around to see if I have any white bows. Here's a little white one. I don't know if that would go or not. Like I said, you just have to lay it out and see what fits. I might put this little bow here and put that on top of it, or maybe like that. Kind of like it just like that without this little flower. So I'm just going to add a little hot glue. I think it'll be faster for the video if I use hot glue, because I think that the fabric tack will dry just fine and be hard enough, but it just is not drying fast enough for me to create these in the video. But I'll go back and forth between hot glue and fabric tack depending on what I'm gluing on. Okay, so there is another, I think that's a cute little banner. Oops, I got glue all over my fingers. So we have two little banners there. I also pulled out this piece of burlap. It was like a burlap ribbon. I thought we could use to make one as well. And then I have some of this pink eyelet, I think is what you call it. So let's see, which one do we want to use next? We could try some of the eyelet. I'm not sure how I want to use it though. I'm going to have a piece of fabric behind it to kind of stabilize it, I do believe. I don't know, that may not work for this one today. I also have a strip of just turquoise fabric that I thought about trying it with. So let's just even up this edge here. And then let's see if we can decorate it up. I was making some pleated fabric to go on the edges of pages, and this is a piece that I had left over from doing that. So I thought let's try it as a banner as well. So let's see, I think I'm going to double it up as well since it's so thin. It's not as wide as our first one. But like I said, you can make them all different shapes and sizes. Well, not shapes, but all different sizes. And you could do shapes if you wanted to. We may do that some other time. Let's see. Is it going to be too small for this paper clip? Should I pull out a different one? I think it's going to be fine. So I think for this one, let's see, that one's going that direction, and that. So let's do this one this direction. Which they're not going in the same journal anyway, so it really doesn't matter. They all could be going the same direction. And that may be the best way to do it. I don't know. I think I will. I think I'll just turn around and have them all go in the same direction today. And like I said, you could decorate the back and it wouldn't matter, but I really don't see a need for decorating the back if you're just going to have it slid onto a page. So that one's a little long. I don't know. I think it'll be okay. And let's look around for some things to go on it. So, oh, this one popped out, so that might be pretty. How would we want to do that? That might be pretty on the bottom there. Let's see. Just do it like that. And looking around to see what all we have. We have this as well. That might be pretty along the bottom. Or along the side here. Now what color bow should go on that? We really need a white one, but I don't think I have any more white ones. Let me just see what I do have. I have these little flowers that's from Lacy Flowers. Maybe too much lace now. So let's keep looking. I do have this little gold rose that I could add. There's blue things. I think that's too much matchy-matchy. Okay, so I had to pause for a moment. Sorry about that. My son needed my attention. He's been sick this week, and so he wanted to know if it was time for his meds. So it was. So I have been playing with some things while I was waiting for him to take his medication and for everything to get quiet again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to glue this banner shut. And then I've already got some ideas of how we're going to decorate it up. So I want to just add some fabric tack there. Now I'm not adding the, let me just smooth that out. I'm not adding hot glue in between because this fabric on fabric will be fine to glue with the fabric tack. And I think hot glue would make this so stiff feeling, and I want it to still be kind of flexible. So what I was thinking is I have these little, it comes on a like little lace or ribbon, and it's just some little flowers. And so what I've done is I have just cut those off, and I'm thinking about layering them up on here along with some of this. And then I might add these little plastic things to the center as well. So let's see. Let's just attach these first. And my hot glue's been sitting over here oozing out, making a mess. So let's see here. Oops, that's way too much. That's the reason I don't like to always use the hot glue is, let me see if I can find something to just take a little bit off of it for this one. That's not going to work, I don't think. Let's see. We'll see how it goes. Just stick that on there now. So the hot glue's oozing through anyway, so that'd be good. That works out perfect. Okay, so that one's there. Oops, it is sticking to my fingers. Then we'll add this one here. This may be a Fabri-Tac moment. Let's just see though. Put just a little bit of glue. Maybe if I don't put so much, it would work out. Goodness gracious, I am making a mess. I'm way better with I'm way better with my Fabri-Tac than I am hot glue. Okay, there we go. That's a good idea. So then I will take and add just a little bit more here to the center. Oops. This one wants to put so much out at one time. Okay, there we go. And then just remember when you're using hot glue, if you use hot glue instead of Fabri-Tac, remember it's not to get burnt. Be very careful. This stuff is very hot. Okay, just hold those down there. And then I think I want this little piece of lace across the bottom. But I'm going to use Fabri-Tac for that because I've got time for that one to just wait for that one to dry. Because I think I'm making a mess with the hot glue. So I'm pulling some of these strings off. I'm okay with some strings, but some of the loose ones needs to go. So let's just put a good bead of Fabri-Tac across the bottom. And then just snip it right there. There we go. And that's a very simple one, but I think it's very pretty too. So we have 3 here. So let's see, let's make another one. And what do we want to make? I did have that burlap, but I don't know where I put it now. I'm sure you all see it right in front of my face, but I do not see it. Here it is. I'm going to first just slide it onto my paper clip and kind of see if I want to double it or not, or how I want to do this one. Yeah, and I'm going to make it a little shorter than the other ones. So I'm just going to snip. This is ribbon, so it has some stitching on both sides, but there we go, the frayed bottoms. So if we lay that there, and let's just kind of get an idea, maybe what we want to put on it. I have this little rose charm that might be cute on that one. And here's a little turquoise bead. Just looking around to see what all I have that I could decorate it up with. And do I want to add lace to it? Oh, I forgot about these flowers. These little yellow flowers here may be good. I bought these on clearance, I think, at Walmart. Trying to see where the little piece is to open them. I'm just thinking on the burlap, the yellow may be pretty. If I can get it to flatten out. Take all of these off, start all over, and just see. We have the little yellow flower here. I do like that on here. Kind of like to do things in 3s, so may just put 3 little flowers on here, and you could keep it that simple. I'm trying to think, do I need to add anything else? looking around at bits and pieces that I have. I might could add just a little bit of this lace here. What if we hid that inside there, had it sticking out the edge, and then our flowers. I'm seeing this one more in like this could go in like a little farm journal, or it just makes me think farms, or think of fall. I don't know, I guess it would depend on the journal that I'm creating. If I find that it works for. I'm just making these ahead. Not all of these are for specific journals that I'm working on. I am trying to stay in some colors that I'm working on. I do have some with the blue that's coming up, and then I have the pink and purple, so I am trying to mix some for those as well. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue in here, and I'm just going to add it all the way around so that I can just glue this shut, because that's the only thing I want sticking out, just tuck up under there. And I do want to tuck it so that it's not sticking out too far. Is that going to be too far? Not sure. Might need to add a little bit more glue here on the top of the lace. I know you can't see that on camera. I'm trying to just add a little bit of glue there, so it all sticks down. And then we'll just add these, put a dot there, and there, and there. I think it'll hold these on just fine. This is a little messier than I thought it was going to be with all the glue. Don't know. Trying to arrange those little leaves that's on it so that it looks right. Okay, I'm not happy with that, so I'm just going to use a little hot glue so I can do each one, and it'll stay down and won't move around. Okay, so I'm just going to take this one, just stick it right in there, and then trying to decide how I want them before I add the glue. I think I may trim this little piece off here. So I could stick that in there so we don't have too much greenery. There we go. Just add that there, and then tuck this one in. I'm going to hold them down there. Thinking, what if I glue that folded over like that? I like that better. So I'm just going to add some glue here, and I'm using Fabri-Tac again for this part. And hopefully that's going to work. And then I'm just going to, yeah, that's going to work. Fold that over. I like that better. Fold it over versus sticking out the side. I think that looks better. And that one's very simple. I mean, we could add more things, but I don't know that it needs any more. There's a little plastic bow that we could add to the side, to the top there. Don't know that we need it. I have other little plastic bows too, if we wanted to add something like that. Maybe we'll add that one. So I'm just going to add just a dab of glue right there. Just had a little bit hanging off. That's what we'll use. It's already hot. And then just tuck that in there. There we go. Set that one aside to dry, and then we'll make another one here. So I'm just tearing down my fabric again. And I'll show you how I make them, how I made the other one. I didn't lap it all the way over. I just do it like this. I didn't fold it all the way over. what am I trying to say? I said lap it. I didn't wrap it all the way over. I just had a little bit on the edge there, and then just snip it off here. So you can do it like that too. You don't have to double up the fabric if you don't want to. So let's do one like that. It is a little harder to tear when it's this small, but you just have to work with it. And if it don't tear, just cut it and don't worry about it. You can fray it. You can just pull a little bit on the bottom there. See which one I want for my bottom and which one I want for the back. And then what I'm going to do is I just take it and decide how far down I want it. And let's see here. Just going to fold that over and glue it down. Get a good coating of glue. Then just press that down. Oh, and I got one step I forgot to show you. So before we do this one, there's one more step to these that we need to do. Hopefully you haven't turned off yet. But we need to take and we need to bend our paper clip. So the other night when I made mine, I didn't have any tools in the house. So I just used my snipping tools, which is probably not the best idea. And what you want to do is you want to grab a hold of the top here and just bend it back. And keep working it so until you get this made into a little, like a little loop. So you can do it like that. And then you have, so that when you slide on your page you don't have that little sharp point. Or if you have some jewelry pliers, then you can just easily take those and twist it around like that. It's a little bit tighter. And then I don't know, hadn't tried it with this pair of pliers, but I'm sure you can get it bent back with those as well. Oops, maybe not. Yeah, those aren't the best. The best ones for it are these, then like a little, kind of like needle nose pliers, kind of. There you can get yourself a little round piece there. So that's the part I forgot to show you at the beginning. There we go. And just turn that in. Okay, so I have one more fun idea for one. And so for this one, I'm going to use another piece of canvas. But this time I'm just going to overlap it again and glue it shut. I need to wipe that glue off, it's been oozing out. Probably need to find my lid and put my lid on it. So I'm just going to glue it where it will shut together at the bottom. I need this to be fairly long. This is a longer one, but it needs to be fairly long for what I'm going to do with it. So then I have like this little eyelash type trim, I'm not sure what you call it, and I'm just going to stick that down the middle. I thought that would be a lot of fun. Keep in mind, all of these aren't going in the same journal, so it looks a little odd it doesn't match those, but that's okay because it'll go with some journals sometime or another probably. Sure we'll find one for it to go with. So then I'm just going to add a good amount of Fabri-Tac to the canvas there, and then I'm just going to stick this down the middle. I have no idea where you can find this. I just got this in a bag full of just bits and pieces from an Etsy seller. Let's see, find my tool. We need to take and curl this around. Like I said, you can use anything that you can find to curl it around. I used different tools before I could find my jewelry tools. I had those out in the studio, so I had to go out there and get them. So the night that I was making them for my journal, I didn't have time to go out there, so I just used what I had in here. So then I want to just attach these along the center. And I know that you can't do these exact thing that I'm doing, but I'm just showing you some ideas so you can look around your craft room, see what bits and pieces you have, and make some original for you. That's yours, you know, your original ideas. But hopefully this gives you some ideas of things to create and add to your journal. I'm always looking for ideas, and I may not always have the same craft supplies, but I can look around my craft room and see what I do have, and I am terrible with the glue gun tonight. But then, like I said, I can look around the craft room, see what I do have, and then use what I have. So that's what you need to do for this, is just use what you have to create your paperclip banners. So I think that was really cute. I think that's, and it's going to have to be trimmed up just a little, just to get some of that. But it's okay to be sticking out. That's what kind of trim it is, so I like that. I think that's a cute idea. So here are some of the paper clips that I have created, paperclip banners that I've created. And so most of them I created with you on camera, but there we created that one together. And then we have the little purple one, the burlap with the yellow flowers, and then we have the little blue one that we created, and we have this one that I've used a blue button and just some little plastic bow and little pearl, and then this one that we created together. So I really love how these turned out. I hope that you have enjoyed seeing me create them. I hope it inspires you to grab some of your scraps and bits and pieces and create some for your journals. Well, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.